Hello all, in this video we're going to be discussing Philippine visas. What's available, what are the requirements, the tourist visa, the work visa, retirement visa, spousal visa 13A, so let's get into it. Hello and welcome to the Philippines here at JRC Visa Consultancy and Immigration Services in Cebu City. Again, we're going to talk a little bit about the requirements for coming into the Philippines. And there are short-term requirements if you're going to be here a month or less, 30 days or less, and they're long-term. If you're going to be here longer, you're going to have to take care of some other requirements, including extending your visa. And let's talk a little bit about that as far as to get into the country, to get on a plane. You're supposed to have your visa should be good at least for another 6 months, right? Okay.
I think it will be the passport.
Or passport, yeah, the passport. Passport in your country. And I have been asked for that. And do you want to get into more of the details about what everybody needs here?
Yeah. Merry Christmas, everyone.
JR?
How are you? And Rod, thank you for having me again in your channel. And I totally appreciate that. It's been 2024. It's almost about to end, and we're happy to have people coming in to the Philippines right now for the holiday season. And there are things that you need to be aware of if you're coming from the US and you're a US citizen. When you come to the Philippines, you need to make sure that you have your ticket, of course. You cannot be on board in a plane without a ticket. And then make sure that your passport will not be expiring in the next 6 months. The longer, the better. And then the e-travel. And also the basic requirement would be an outbound ticket from the Philippines. So there's actually a discussion over that. But at the end of the day, I just wanted you to realize that that is a requirement for the Philippine immigration. And I think it's not unique also with the Philippines, because when you enter the country on tourist visa, you are tagged as a temporary visitor. Just like, for example, when I go to Thailand, I'm a visa free on that country. So when I enter the country, one of the requirement is also an outbound ticket from Thailand going back to the Philippines, or where will be my next destination after Thailand. And indeed, I just wanted you to realize that it's not a unique requirement from the Philippine immigration only. Of course, when you change your plan, if you have other plans to stay longer in the country, more than 60 days, you are still welcome to come here to the Philippines to test the waters, to be here, to experience the culture, or to meet with your special someone that you've been chatting for quite some time already. So Christmas would be one of the things that you would definitely look for, because you're gonna meet your special someone, and also with their family, and by then you get to know them better, and also for the things that you would like to know about the Philippines, because less in 6 months or 30 days it would not be enough for you to explore the Philippines as well.
All right, and I've had people comment on my channel about this ongoing ticket, return ticket, round trip ticket, or just a ticket. And I've always said it has to be within 30 days of your arrival. And people argue and said, no, I had a ticket out several months later and I didn't have a problem. On the Philippine Airlines site, if you're flying Philippine Airlines, it says within 30 days. Maybe they make longer allowances. I don't know.
Correct.
But that says it on Philippine Airlines. Maybe other airlines extend that. We'll accept other ones. But why get caught? Why get caught at the airport and you've got to go buy a ticket.
Correct.
You've got to go to the counter and buy a ticket going someplace before they'll let you on the plane.
Yeah, I would totally agree with you on that, Rod, because I would highly recommend your viewers right now, especially for the newer ones, because we have been talking this before in our previous videos. It's better to be safe and complying what are the requirements are. Anyway, it will not hurt you, because each situation is unique, and you don't want to compromise really of your plans here in the Philippines. I mean, if you're gonna compromise it just for you to get away with that requirement, which has a cheaper options to do it, then what are you risking? So I think you have risked too much, and I think that the Philippines are just enough to let you know that that is a requirement. And also, just to give you an overview right now, the Philippine immigration is headed with our new commissioner right now in the person of Attorney Viado, and they have been really wanted to improve our Philippine immigration system, and also to really invite people in the country. And they are also taking a look at the security for everyone here in the Philippines, not just for the Filipino itself, but also for our foreign visitors and our foreign residents here in the Philippines, to really safeguard their security as well.
And for those people staying for more than 30 days, it's important that they, before that 30 days is up, they need to extend their visa.
Correct.
And they can use somebody like you, JRC Visa Consultancy.
Correct.
Takes care of it. You can pick up their passport and take care of it. Or they can go to the immigration office themselves and take care of it. It's right now, and they moved from Mandawi. They moved into what, J-Mall?
G-Mall.
G-Mall.
Yes.
G-Mall.
Yeah.
Right
That's
now.
within the vicinity of the North Reclamation area. And doing the extension can be on two ways, as what you mentioned, Rod. You can do that by yourself, or you can actually let someone do it for you. An agency that is accredited with the Bureau of Immigration, and it's a matter of how you value your time. Especially, I know that there will be people that, hey JR, I'm here, I have a lot of time, but your time might be spent on other things that you can actually be of value of, because you come here and you've already worked your life in the US or any from other countries, and you wanted to relocate in the Philippines with a different mindset to really live your life. So if that is how you define your value of your time, then that is where you can decide if you wanted to do it on your own, or you can have someone do it for you.
Yeah. And I did that the first couple of years in the Philippines until I I did it myself. And occasionally I would be one of the first ones there, and I might take me an hour, might take me 2 hours. I think the longest it took me was 4 hours, and they said, come back in 4 hours, right, to get something done. And in that time, it was just a little bit stressful. And I always dressed a little better, to go in. You want to make a good impression. You don't. And I've seen a couple of guys, they were dressed pretty crappy. And just a short time I was there, I saw a couple people were rejected. They were not given their extension. And they said, why not? Why not? They were upset, and they didn't give them an answer. They rejected their extension. So they either overstayed, because they were out of money. They didn't have any money to go anywhere.
There could be different interpretation on that situation. We might not know because we just seen it by our eyes, but at the end of the day, it would be just, okay, what's really the situation of the foreigner going to the immigration office, doing their extensions, or doing their compliances of their requirements from the Bureau of Immigration for their valid stay here in the Philippines. That's one.
Yeah, and like I've said in other videos, I can paint my house. I can do a little work on change my oil in my car. I can do different things myself, but I'm going to choose to pay somebody else to do it, right?
Yeah.
And same thing with the Visa Consultant. Since I've started using you, no worries. I give it to you. You take care of it. You bring it back to me, and of course, it gets rid of the stress. I don't have to spend half a day thinking, how long is this going to take?
Yeah.
Get in line. I do admire. I gotta say, I admire the people who work in the immigration offices.
Yeah.
They're dealing with people from hundreds of different countries,
Correct.
hundreds of different languages and accents, and they keep their cool.
Yeah.
They remain calm.
Yeah.
I can't say the same for some of the foreigners that go in there. I've seen a couple guys go in there, get all upset. I turned my paperwork in, 3 months ago, and it went to Manila. Why isn't it back here? And the last thing you want to do is get into a confrontation.
Correct. You're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And also, this is a reminder also to our foreign friends that the Philippines is different from your country. So you cannot expect the same efficiency and also the speed that you have been oriented to when you come to the Philippines. So it's more on you adopting what is the culture here. So that's the reason why when you are here for the holiday season and you have enough time, you already have retired or you already have set things out in your country of origin, even if you're not yet in the retirement age and you wanted to explore here, you get interested here, go to a base. Cebu might be one because it's in the center, not that highly urbanized, and then move around. Mind you, we have 7,000 plus 100 islands. I don't even know the exact number of that, and there are only 365 days in a year. So there's still a lot for you to explore here. Test the waters, and then once you actually feel it that you can, okay, hey, this is my best fit here, I would like to live here, I would like to spend the rest of my life here, and then that will be the time that you'll be taking a look at with other permanent residency status. Please don't stay on being the tourist status, because it is tagged as a temporary visitor's visa. So temporary meaning you're not staying here permanently, and I would encourage everyone to really be on the permanent residency side. There are a lot of visa options right now that will actually help you to become on a permanent status. You just need to figure it out.
Yeah, and the same thing, I've got a friend who he comes here, he goes to Thailand for a couple months.
Right.
He goes back to the US, he just bounces back and forth. The last time he went to Thailand, a few months ago, they pulled him aside and they said, you can't come in on a tourist visa anymore. You've been coming here too often, and you have to apply for a permanent visa.
Correct.
And he's done that. He had the cash to do it. So, and he used an agent. And it makes it so much easier. And I've seen JR. I've gone with him with some of my friends. And what might take you? And some of my subscribers have told me they did some of this on their own, and it took them 4, 5, 6 days to get it done. I've seen JR do it in one day. go to the what are the different agencies? The physical, like for the retirement
doctor's
visa.
appointment, the laboratory test, the NBA clearances.
Yeah, all that.
Those are the paperwork that actually like behind the scene or behind the stage that you don't know that how much work was involved on that.
Yeah.
Getting your if you're applying for the spousal visa because you're married with a Filipina, registering your marriage certificate on this office, then going to the registrar's office for the PSA to have your status to be updated here in the Philippines, and also getting the workaround is on the backstage. You cannot actually see it in front, but that's how the team works really. And I do admit we do have challenges also along the way, because we are dealing with different cultures, also foreigners, and we're dealing with our culture here in the Philippines. Those are two different things, and we are in the middle. So it's also a cooperation is also highly appreciated also from our applicant, which is the foreigner on that particular visa, because we cannot actually do it smoothly without their cooperation. And also, apart from that, one of the common visas here in the Philippines is also the retirement visa. The retirement visa, you would qualify as early as 50 years old. There will be different categories on it. For those who are new to your channel and wanted to be here, you have served the US military, then check it out. That might be something that you will be interested of. And if you see the value of that, if you're gonna invest here in the Philippines for like your condominium unit, your investments here, your companies here, and I think it would be wise and it would be the very smart decision for you to take a look at having the permanent residency. We will never know if there will be another COVID coming around. Don't compromise your stay because you put your millions in it. Right. It's a matter of seeing it in that way, but it would be different on a case-to-case basis depending on the individual situation. And for those who can afford, take a look at that. Take a look at that seriously, because what is involved right now are your investments. And when you say investments, we're not just talking about 100,000 pesos. It's probably at least $1 million. So safeguard that.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you're military, now, does that apply to other countries as well? If they were in the military in Australia?
Yes.
Okay, they can get the military retirement visa with only a deposit of $1,500.
Correct.
instead of 10,000.
Correct.
Or if you're under 50, it's 20,000 to deposit.
For the under 50, it's not yet available right now. Before it was available, it was temporarily on hold and evaluated. 50 years old is a golden number.
Okay.
And when you say retirement visa, it does not mean literally to be defined as retirement that you're not doing anything. It is one of the visa options that you can take here, which will give you a permanent residency in the Philippines. So it varies right now going to the expanded courtesy, in which the special category which apply to the countries with good diplomatic relationship in the Philippines. For Australia, we have an experience for that. For those other countries, please feel free to give it a try. What we can do is to have a pre-approval from the retirement office, and then the retirement office, okay, hey, they're gonna check it in their records if they have the Philippines and their country have good diplomatic relationship, and they can qualify for the 50 years old and above. They can also qualify for the pension requirement. They can also qualify for the proof of military service. They can also qualify for the criminal background check, and we will actually ask for a special approval before we lodge in your application to the retirement office. Give it a try. We know that the Philippines also is not for everyone, but for those who would like to take a look at Southeast Asia as your retirement place or as your second home, Philippines could be your one of your better choice.
Yeah, because the retirement visa gives you multiple entry and exits also, doesn't it?
Correct.
That's one of them. And if I remember correctly, it lets you, as far as customs free, you can ship a certain amount customs free.
Yeah, for the personal effects after you'll be granted with a visa. But I need to, if you'll be interested in that, we need to really talk on that aspect, because I need you to understand the procedure. It's not that automatic that you're gonna avail of it. There's some things that you need to comply. One thing, for example, if you're gonna ship a personal goods from your country, you need to have the logistics requirement. You have the specific list of your items, the personal goods, and there's a cap on it, $7,000 in value. So based on our experience, what will be the savings for that is around $500 US. And also please take note that the timing of the clearance of the exemption and the arrival of your goods in the Philippines is also very important, because if it will pass through the allowable storage days, there will be penalties also on the port area. So kindly take note of that, because if $500 is something that you would like to save, and also with that kind of process, long process, I think you can take a look at, or you can consider other way around to really ship your goods here, maybe more than $7,000 US.
Okay. Interesting. The more we talk, the more complicated, the more important it is to use somebody that knows the ins and outs. All right. I want to back up just a little bit. I think we went over something very quickly. The e-travel. The e-travel is something you fill out online.
Yeah.
It's free.
It's free, yes.
If you do a search online, you will find companies wanting to charge you. One of my friends did. He went on to try to fill it out, and he had filled out the whole form. Right, and then they said, give us your credit card. They want to charge him like $70. You know, but yeah, the Philippine has a forum, a website where you fill out e-travel. Basically, we used to, you know, when I came 9 years ago, you filled these forms out on the plane.
Yes.
I think they handed you 3 different forms. One was, are you declaring? Are you a criminal? Are you carrying drugs? Are you carrying more than $10,000?
That's the arrival card, and also the custom duties.
Yeah,
form.
and then the medical card.
Yes.
Something about that, and then your location, where you're going to be staying.
Exactly.
That type of thing. Contact information. Now you do it all online.
Yeah.
You do it online, so.
And also for the e-travel, it would really depend on. Yes, the government is setting that for free, but it would be deemed difficult for you, as long as for those people who wanted to charge you, it's reasonable, and you see the value of it. I think that would be fair enough, especially they have if they actually establish their office, They have operational expenses. They need to walk through you what's the process. They're gonna hold your hand, go there, and also they're gonna light up their offices as well. So that is something that you need to consider as well. And then if you're capable of doing it, then I think that would be an option for you. And also for our last travel, the e-travel was already incorporated with the customs declaration. So they're gonna give you a QR code. So once you pass by immigration counters, they're gonna ask for the e-travel. They're gonna look for that, prepare that, and that can be done 72 hours before your scheduled flight. You can actually do that in advance while you're still in your place. And then once you pass by immigration counter, another scan of your QR code would be from the customs area. So I'm speaking that set up in Cebu. And just in case you missed that e-travel, there are still PCs right now in the arrival area in Mactan Cebu International Airport that you can use for you to fill out your e-travel. So that is something that you can also explore just in case you missed it. And there will be people asking you, sir, foreigner, this line, have you finished your e-travel with you? If not, be honest, and I think that people will be willing to help you out. And please control your temper.
Yeah, there was a guy several months ago, I did a video about it, and he apparently got arrogant and upset and threw his apparently, there's two sides to every story, but
exactly.
threw his passport and at him and was real arrogant, and they said, get back on the plane, see you, bye, you're not coming to the Philippines. So yeah, don't get arrogant.
Yes.
Leave that stuff. Leave your anger. If you had a bad flight, whatever.
Yeah, because the reason why I wanted that to be on that as a reminder, because we have encountered that situation also with one of our clients, and then that would not be a good situation for you. I know if you were feeling bad during your flight, you came up from a long flight, and okay. If you have not complied it, sir, would you mind if you know someone that can help me out so that I can comply it? And I think that composure will actually lead you to someone that will help you, or maybe that person might be volunteering himself. Okay, sir, this is how it should be done, and that's it. That's the culture here. And also been doing this business for almost more than 7 years already, and one thing that I have also learned is to also understand where is that person coming from. What are their culture? Probably raising your voice might not be arrogant for you, but on the other side of the coin, from the Filipino culture, the one you have talked to might be like sound different.
Now I want to bring up something, possibly the most important thing that is very, very seldom brought up in these videos that we do. Gifts. If you're meeting somebody here,
do you have one for me?
Yeah. Or and it is something not just in Philippines but many Asian countries. And what do they call it here? Pasalubong?
Pasalubong, yes.
So, okay.
Those are gifts coming from your country or not available in the Philippines normally.
Yeah, and it's something, if you're meeting somebody, you've been chatting with somebody online, and you're meeting somebody, or you're meeting somebody that's going to help you be a tour guide or something. It is common and expected, really is expected, to bring a gift. I know guys that expats here that they've got family here, and they go back to the U.S. and they come back a month or two later. They've got one empty suitcase they've filled with candy and goodies and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is expected.
Yeah.
And I went to China like 20 years ago, and it dawned on me at the last minute. And I bought a gift for somebody I was meeting 20 years ago, and yeah, it's like if I wouldn't have, I would have been terribly embarrassed. They probably just would have walked away and left me standing in the airport.
Yeah, I was also in that. It's embedded with our culture, and it would be appreciated. If not, that would be fine. It would differ on a person also. And one thing in terms of gifts might not be expensive. You just need to have something that is not commonly available here in the Philippines. And I think the person whom that you're actually giving that gift, appreciates that. If they will not appreciate it, and I think that is something that you need to take a look at as well.
Contact JR. He'll negotiate a peace treaty. All right, and then if you're here 60 days, now you can extend your visa the first time 30 days or 29 days.
29 days.
29 days, and then after that, and then you have to apply for the ACR card.
Correct.
Right, which is basically looks like a driver's license. Basically, It's got your picture on it. They take your fingerprints, your eye prints. What do you call that? Iris scan or?
They call it here biometrics or capturing. So on that regard, the extension upon entry to the Philippines should be given if you're coming from the US and you belong to the EO4 or listed countries. Upon entering the Philippine borders to our airports, you'll be given 30 days. That's visa free. And then after that, if you wanted to extend over 30 days, you can extend your visa. But the first extension, this is uniform across to the Philippines, is only 29 days extension. So in effect, you are already perceived that you will be staying here in the Philippines for 59 days. So if you intend to stay more than 59 days, then you'll have the option to extend it by 1 month or 2 months, depending on your plan on how long you would like to stay or extend your stay here in the Philippines. And that is where you are required to pay the ACRI card. So it's a requirement of the Bureau of Immigration on your second extension. Let's just say you extend for another 2 months. So you are perceived to stay here in the Philippines. That would be 30 days, 29 days, and 2 months. That's more or less 120 days already. So basically that's 4 months. So that's how they see it, and they have it on record already. So that's how it goes. And the extension cost will vary from which extension is that, first, second, or third, because if the second extension you got it like 2 months, that would cost you, there will be additional cost of roughly between 3,500 pesos to 4,000 pesos for the ACRI card. And when we're talking about extensions, you are on tourist visa, you are on temporary visitors visa, so the ACRI card will be available a month or 2 after they recollected your money, especially if you are doing your extension and you pay the ACRI card outside the main office of the Bureau of Immigration in Manila. If you have done it in Cebu, your ACRI card will not be obtained right away when you pay it. It will be available a month or 2 thereafter. Why? Because the only printing of the ACRI card is only from the main office Manila, and consider the logistics of sending the paperwork to Manila and having it evaluated again, and also sending back your physical card in the Philippines, in Cebu. So also it is good to understand that the ACRI card, as it defined, is Alien Certificate of Registration Identification Card. So it is an ID of your visa, ID of your tourist visa. And there would be a different color of the ACRI card which connotes another visa, and that would be permanent residency. It depends on what type of visa is that. So don't be confused.
Okay. Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about working in the Philippines. I get comments about how do I get a job? Can I work there? This and that. But before we get to that, if they're in a serious relationship, or a relationship that could become serious, and they might get married, if they might apply for the Srrv retirement visa, there are things they can do. If they come here and then decide to do it, well, they need to go back to their country. They can't just have the stuff mailed, right? You have to have the physical original copy of divorce papers, for instance. Your military record discharge papers.
Correct.
What's a D?
DD-214.
Okay. Things like that.
Yes.
You need that. And they have to be apostilled.
Yes,
You
correct.
can't just have the paper. They need to be apostilled, which is like what's another term for that?
Authentication.
Authentication.
Yes.
All right. They used to call it what? Red ribbon or something?
Red ribbon, yes.
Red
correct.
ribbon.
Yeah.
But yeah, it needs to be apostilled. So if you're considering at all being here long term, and you want to do so, yeah, all these documents need to be apostilled in the U.S., right?
Yeah.
Or whatever country you're coming from. And there are agents that are recognized by governments, by the Philippines, the U.S., Australia, and you need to get it apostilled by. It's the same as notary public, but it's not. It's different than a notary public. It's apostilled.
Yes.
So you get that done and you bring it with you. Because right now, if I want those papers, I would have to go back to the U.S. Dig them out of my stack of stuff I left with my daughter, right? Take care of getting it apostilled, and it's a lot of running around, and just a trip back and forth. You know, it costs a lot of money. So yeah, think about that. Talk to. I think you offer what a free consultation.
Yeah, we do offer free consultation, especially for those people who are still outside the country or outside the Philippines who wanted to really apply for the retirement visa or the spousal visa, because it's very important that you will be abreast of what are the things that you need to bring here, and for that things to be accepted in the Philippines, because as what you mentioned, there will be retirement visa documents that needs to be apostilled, and apostillization is also a different process in the US. It differs on which state are you in, like it differs also which county did you came from, because each county or each state would be having also different set of processes. So I need you to have a proper understanding of that before you came here, because it would help a lot to ease your visa application, because you have prepared it well. Also for the spousal visa, when they get married to the States, we will also take a look at getting your marriage certificate in the States, and also if you have reported your marriage in the Philippine consulate nearest you in the US, because that is very important. If you're married in the US and also you are you wanted to relocate in the Philippines and retire here, the Philippine government should have a record of your marriage in the US, so that will be one of the major requirements here in the Philippines. So those things, those are one of the few, those are part of your requirement that you need to understand fully, and our team would be happy to talk to you through our consultation, so that we can take a look at your situation, because we cannot just assume that everyone has the same situation. No, it's totally different. Each one is unique, each one has unique situation, and then we will actually tailor fit it based on your needs.
Yeah, it can sound a little overwhelming and complicated. That's why you're here. You do this, you have seen many dozens, hundreds of different situations. So yeah, hand it over to the professionals, just like you use lawyers for certain things. And by the way, JR has a lawyer on staff too, and he's a real estate agent. And we'll do another video about the real estate side of your business, probably different.
Because real estate would be also another thing that you need to take a look at into consideration, because I have seen and have encountered and I have talked to people who have actually purchased properties without proper documentation, and that is where we will actually help you to really understand how does it go and what are the things that you need to look for before you actually buy the property. And especially on that aspect, buying a property here would not be less than $1 million, or probably you're gonna buy it in the provincial areas, it would cost you less than $1 million
pesos.
Less than $1 million pesos, yes.
Not
Thank you, not US dollars. Also, that is something, because if you have that situation, it might be a very stressful situation for you, and it defeats the purpose why you're here in the Philippines.
Because there's no such thing as title insurance.
Nah.
You know, there's a lot of issues with the land titles.
Yes.
Some relative, from 20 years back shows up and says, "No,
it's my land.
That's my land."
That's possible.
Yeah.
And okay, this is the land that is actually indicated in the title, and if you have not checked it, that might be situated. That land that is being registered in the title might not be that land, but it would be the other land around. Because in the Philippines, like especially in the provincial areas, most of our registered owner before don't have proper documentation, and they just say, hey, that point, that is our land. You see that mango over there? That is our land. That's how they used before. And right now, it's very crucial that you have your proper documentation of your property here. So I think that will be a separate video that we can actually talk about.
And then one of the last things we want to talk is, I get quite a few people that want to work. They want a job. They want to make extra money. Maybe they're not on a pension yet, or it's too small. And where can I work? How do I go about? Basically, you're not allowed to work here unless you tell us a little bit about the process. What's required?
Okay, working here in the Philippines will be another aspect that we can actually talk about, because that would actually be on the working visa side. So by the term already of what type of visa, working visa, it's self-explanatory already. But please take note, when you wanted to work here in the Philippines, you can apply for the not spousal visa. I get used to the spousal visa. You can apply for the working visa when you are connected with a company that is duly registered in the Philippines. If you're working remotely, I think that is still something that the authorities are still checking on how they can do. But on the perspective of the working visa, you can work when you have an employer who is a company that is registered in the Philippines. It's either a domestic company or a foreign company that has a branch in the Philippines. That would be the setup of the working visa. And then before you have the working visa, you have prerequisite or pre-requirement before you will have your working visa on board in terms of your application, because there will be a requirement on the Labor Department, and there will be also a requirement from the Department of Justice, depending on the type of petitioner or the company that you have worked for.
Okay. And you can't just start a business.
You can.
You can. There are certain companies, well, most are, 60-40. Foreigner can own 40%, but 60% has to be Filipino owned. There are a few categories, and they've extended that, like call center. A call center can be 100% owned by foreigner. That type of thing. We need to do a different video. That's a whole another hour probably.
That's another video in the pipeline.
But I have, let me just say this, I have heard 2 or 3 different stories at least over the years where, and I've had these kind of offers myself. A foreigner owns a resort, says, hey, do you want to help me manage this? Will you come up and manage this and take care of this or take care of this? And I never have, but I have heard about guys that did that. The owner of the resort, I'm going back to Australia, buddy, will you watch over the place while I'm gone? And somebody turns him in. He doesn't have a work visa, but he's working. He's working. The employees are answering to him. And one of the employees doesn't like him, something he did. He chewed him out or something. And anyway, he got deported. He got deported and blacklisted.
Yeah, correct.
So you need to be careful.
Yeah.
About
You
that.
need to be on top with what are the regulations. You need to know what are the regulations, and you need to comply what are the regulations. We know that there might be people there, okay, hey, it's okay, I'm just actually doing it, I've been doing for years. It's better to be safe than sorry.
Anyway, we covered a lot of ground today and different topics, and I think we'll end it there. Thank you, JR.
Thank you, Rod. Thank you for inviting us again. We do appreciate it. And it's good to see you around. And also, if your subscribers here need some assistance, our office is located in Cebu City, right next to Ayala Mall, the Cebu Business Park Ayala, because there are already 2 Ayala malls here. And also we are located also in Dumaguete City, and that's in Lupiga building. And also we are located also in Manila. So if you wish to verify our existence and to give you a peace of mind and assurance that we do exist and we are not a fly-by-night company, please do check our website, check our social media pages, Facebook, and also check our offices. That will give you a proof that we do exist.
I'll put links to those in the description of the video as well. So, all right, very good. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and looking forward to see you in my office with Rod. And please don't forget our gifts, okay? Pasalubong.
All right.